All right. Should be live.
You are now live. We are now live. Are we live? Can you hear us, everybody? We are live.
Live from Newark.
Live
It's
from
Saturday
Newark,
night.
Prudential Center. What's the final score of this one? 81-59 loss for Rutgers to Seton Hall. Just not a great game. Didn't start out well, didn't end well. There's a telling comment today, and this I want to start here because I thought it was really interesting. Shaheen Holloway, during his post-game press conference, said he saw the starting lineup that Rutgers was sending out, and he's like, we got to gap them. And true to form, they're up 11-0 before the first time out. I mean, that was just a completely 6 turnovers they forced in the first 7 possessions. And that starting lineup, he went out there, Steve Peichel threw out Tariq Francis, left Jermichael Davis on the bench. I think that's the key to it. It was just not a great decision.
Yes. So we'll start there. The logic is confusing to me because he says he spends the whole week talking about how Seton Hall forces turnovers and there's this pesky defense, and he talked, and then he puts the guy who the best thing he does probably in Jermichael Davis is not turning over the ball. Yeah. Like his best attribute is his assist to turnover ratio. He does not turn over the ball. And then Tariq Francis is there starting as the point guard, maybe the first possessions of the season he's playing point guard, and then he commits 3 turnovers, gets the ball picked 3 times in 3 straight possessions, and then they call timeout, and he comes out again with Tariq Francis at point guard. So, look, the Rutgers lost this game because Seton Hall is infinitely better. It's not these coaching decisions that were the reason they lost, but they're just head-scratching decisions that when you're a team like Rutgers that has such a wide gap to fill, you can't make silly mistakes like this. And look, they bounced back from it, but they were so far behind they never able to turn things around. And I think 22 points, that's the biggest margin of defeat Rutgers has had in this rivalry under Steve Peichel since the final year of Eddie Jordan. And I think it's not even really fair to how dominant Seton Hall was in this game.
Yeah, no, it clearly, there's no question about it. But I do think you have to look at the little picture to get a sense for the big picture. 4 of the 5 Rutgers starters didn't score in the first half, right? They had 6. I think we were keeping track of it. They had 6 baskets in the first half, 6 shots blocked, and turned the ball over. What was it? 13 times or
something like that. Yeah.
Something that you're just like
10.
I think it's more than 10. It was a number that you're just like, wow. It's just a non-functional team, and it's really hard to watch. I mean, if you're looking for positives, Zerno played a nice game. He's the one starter who did anything. But otherwise, Mark looked okay when he was out there for a while. But otherwise, there's just not a lot here that you can come away with and go, oh, okay.
Well, to your point, the exercise we were doing on press row as this game was ticking away was how many guys would you have to go through? If you're doing a draft of both teams, how many Seton Hall players do you pick before you get to the first Rutgers player, which we agree is Dylan?
I'll do it right now. I'll do Bud Clark, 1.
Yes.
Najee Hines, 2. I think you can make a strong case for a tough one after that. I mean, I think
Stanton McRae.
I think he's he was certainly their second best player tonight. He might be the second best player overall. Simpkins, I might pick before I pick a Rutgers player. And Stephon Payne is,
he's better than any center they have.
He's better than any center that Rutgers has. And to me, the way, to see a freshman, and this is you can't win with freshmen. Too young. This young team Rutgers has, this is just a kid. Najee Hines is he's just a teenager, big doughy kid with a lot of potential. Just emasculated a 25-year-old Rutgers center up front. Just dominated in the paint. He's just a better player. He's a more talented player. Like there's no, forget freshmen, seniors, age, experience. Seton Hall just has better players now.
No doubt. Yes, the age does matter to a certain extent, but ultimately what matters the most is talent. And Rutgers is going to be out-talented in essentially every game remaining this season outside of maybe Penn State, right? So, and then again, the coaching does not inspire the belief that this team could overcome its talent gap because, again, Seton Hall has one of the best 2-point defenses in the country. They are elite inside. They outscored Rutgers 52-24 in the paint. They scored 52 paint points. They had 14 offensive rebounds. And Rutgers only took 15 threes, despite the fact they made 40% of them. Steve Peichel said some of that was because of what Seton Hall took away, but you have to find a way to create more three-pointers. more, because if you're trying to win the game, 2-pointer for 2-pointer,
Right.
it's what's going to happen is what happened here, where you get just blown out. Again, I don't want to beat a dead horse here with the center conversation, but Rutgers is, it's a black hole at that position. There's nothing really. I mean, Emmanuel Boley gets 3 fouls in his first 5 minutes on the court or whatever that is, and they're lost without him. They're lost. Bryce Dortch adds a little bit offensively, but he just can't compete defensively. But Byfall adds nothing on either end.
Yeah.
Javonte Ware has a little bit of leather. He's a little stronger than everyone else, but
he couldn't play. He got 2 minutes. He was not good in those 2 minutes.
Right.
Yeah, had a shot blocked. Yeah,
it's like it looks like Steve Pikiell is grasping at straws here because they played 12 guys and they didn't play Chris Dooley because he was sick, even if he wasn't on the availability report. That's another story for another day. But then you start Dennis Badalow. He plays 3 minutes. He doesn't play the rest of the game.
Never see him again. Yeah,
you play Byfall for a 3-minute stretch, never comes in again. Javonte Ware, 2 minutes, never plays again. It just doesn't. Herun Zerno, who's had a bit of a search here, played 34 minutes. That's good. I just don't. I don't fault him because there's no real solutions here. I fault him because there's no real solutions on the roster that he built.
Yeah, I just think we were told that we would see this team's identity come back this year, and we're not seeing it. I guess I come back to that. This team was out rebounded badly. They were out hustled. I mean, there was one stretch where Seton Hall must have gotten 4, didn't score in possession, got the ball 4 times. I mean, just they were fought for more loose balls. A lot of that comes back to 2 guys. I mean, they went out and got Bud Clark in the portal. That he's a little Sheen Holloway, right? He is, and that's it. He makes this team go. When you have a player like that, I think everyone feeds off of it. And they went out and got Najee Hines. So if you're looking, and I'm going to write this, and I'm going to get some email when I write this, but if you're looking for the glass half full, because I know Rutgers fans right now, based on our Discord and my email box, they're looking for positive things right now. At least you can look at it and say, all right, well, this team, Seton Hall team stunk last year. They won 7 games last year. They've already got 10. They're 10-1. They're probably going to go to the NCAA tournament. At least they're certainly on a trajectory to do so. The Big East is down. I think they're the 3rd or 4th best team in the Big East. If they hold their own, hold serve, they'll be right there. And that's a sign. Okay. And they didn't do it with $20 million, right? They did it with about $5 million. I think that's what we're hearing. The number is
6, maybe.
Yeah, 5 or 6. Yeah, but still a reasonable outlay of money.
Right. Yes, I agree that if you want, much like last year when you saw Missouri go from 0-20 in the SEC and then make the NCAA tournament, then you have Seton Hall going from the worst team of the century to now. There are reasons for hope. Right now, there's 2 things that have to happen. One, they have to get Rutgers the money. Kelly's in, and the administration has to give Steve Pikiell the money, and his GM, I guess, which that's his job, is to raise the money to get him the money. The question then is Rutgers going to be able to build a roster with better players when Steve Pikiell is the one leading that roster build? He's been very adamant that he's the one that, he's on our podcast. We asked him about roster construction. He's very adamant that he knows what he wants in a team. Do you have confidence that Steve Pikiell can build a team and then coach that team back to success? I know he did it once. It was before the NIL era. And I know you could say Shaheen Holloway did it. Shaheen Holloway is a better coach than Steve Pikiell. It's hard to argue that when the guy took St. freaking Peter's to the Elite Eight, and he's doing what he's done now 2 years with Seton Hall, winning the NIT, this program bottoming out after that, and now they're rebuilt. So right. That's the big question. In the meantime, because we could talk about what they're going to do in the offseason until our faces are blue for the next 3 months, they still got to play 20 more games. I mean, can you believe that? We have to endure 3 more months of this. Is there? I didn't get a chance to ask Steve Pikiell a second question at the press conference, but my last question would have been: does he see any reason for hope after they've lost 6 of their last 7 games, 5 of them by double digits? The average margin of defeat in that span is 20.3 points.
Really?
They are getting blown out on the 3-point line. They're getting destroyed inside. They can't create any consistent offense. There is not one thing I can point to and say Rutgers is a bad team, one of the worst teams in high major hoops, but they do this really well. Even the 23-24 team before Dylan Harper and Ace Bailey, they stunk out loud, but they were elite defensively. This team doesn't have that. So do you have any hope?
I don't. I don't. And it would be great if I felt like the freshmen. I guess that's the only answer is the freshmen. Okay, let's see what these guys can do. Like I saw something from Zerno out there tonight. I saw a little a little glimpses of Lino Mark. I again, things. Christ me, restaurants. I get it. Big picture, no. Little picture, are there a couple of building blocks here? Are there a couple of guys you're going to be able to say at the end of this, they are part of the solution going forward when you go into the portal with a bag of money? Yeah, I think if you're looking at that and that only, you've got, if you can retain some of these guys, the Zerno, if you can do that with Valino Mark gets better, if he proves he can get an outside shot, but it's tough. It's tough, man. Caden Powers, again, he was 1 for 6 tonight. He wasn't good tonight. It's tough.
6 shots in 18 minutes for Lino Mark. He now has, I think if my number is correct, 39 shots in something like 70 minutes this season. The guy likes to throw. I think Kobe Bryant might be his favorite player. It's a favorite, good assumption. What I would say is this, and again, we'll talk about this at the end of the season as far as roster construction. But what struck out to me today is that if you do keep any of these guys as building blocks, they can't be your best player because they did that with Dylan Grant. He's the highlight guy for this team, and he can't do it alone. I mean, essentially the only thing they got offensively in the first 10 minutes was giving the ball to Dylan Grant and asking him to do something. Do the old Dylan Harper play. Here, Dylan, do something. Yeah. And he can't really do it. So I think if you retain guys like Dylan Grant, like Haroon Zerno, maybe Jermichael Davis for a senior year, they can't be your starters. They have to be your supplemental guys, and you have to do what Seton Hall did and get a bunch of talent out of the portal that fits what you want in your coach and that can elevate this team. Because to your point, it's bleak.
Give us some comments. I think this about what I expect. I will say this is not what I expected, only because this rivalry has delivered some good games. You looked it up. What is this? This is the most lopsided defeat since Eddie Jordan. I mean, this has been a long time since there's been a game like this between these two teams. I thought it would be close. It usually is close. It wasn't. So, I mean, maybe when I say close, I don't mean like last basket, like last year, but that was a bad Seton Hall team last year, and it did go down to the final shot. I did not expect a 22-point blowout.
So 4 years ago, that was the blitz Rutgers had at the beginning where they get up really early. Miles Powell gets the concussion, and Rutgers wins that game by 20. That was the previous high since of the Steve Pikiell era for either team. And then the last 3 years, one of the worst Seton Hall teams, or one of the worst games between these teams, Seton Hall wins at Rutgers 45-43.
Yep.
2 years ago, a horrible Rutgers team comes in here and beats a good Seton Hall team, and they're the reason they don't make the NCAA tournament. And then last year, Seton Hall's worst team of the century almost beat Dylan Harper and Ace Bailey at the rack. Yeah. And for some miracle, they hit a 3. So to your point, the last 3 years, the worst team has made it a game, and in 2 cases has won the game. I thought this was going to happen because I think Rutgers is so bad and Seton Hall is so much better. I think if you had given me Seton Hall minus 19.5, I would have taken it. And that's not just hindsight, knowing what the result is.
This is how much longer are we going to watch Pike call timeout with 30 seconds left and be blown up by 25? Yeah, I have to admit, the crowd didn't like it. I didn't love it. I don't understand it. I don't know. I mean, but on the list of things that worry you about this game, that's not on the first page. It's somewhere back here on page 10.
I mean, it's just a symbolic, like play through the whistle, play hard, right. Like a lesson for a team. Leave that for high school teams that need moral, lessons. Just let the clock play out.
Yeah. And this is it. Like we get this comment every time about give it 2 pieces of. Oh, I'm sorry. That's not a pop. I didn't read that question first.
Yes. No cursing in the chat.
No cursing in the chat. Apologize
about that. It's a family program.
But yeah, I mean, we're gonna get a lot of comments about that this year. I think at a certain point, if you watched this tonight and you saw what we saw, and you're a frustrated fan, my advice is to just tune it out and check back in the fall.
It's not going to get better. I'm sorry if you guys were here hoping for the positivity podcast. It's not going to get better. So I agree with Pulley. Like, find something better to do this winter and check back in. The disclaimer that we do every episode, Steve Pikiell probably isn't getting fired because it's not financially feasible, unless one of you guys has $20 million lying around that you want to commit to the our excellence fund over the next 5-6 years through the remainder of his contract. Now, I mean, if they go 0 for 20, I think you and I agree they're probably not going to go 0 for 20. But if they go 0 for 20 and they lose 10 Big Ten games by 20 points, then maybe things change a little bit. But I think you agree that.
If they put the over-under in 4.5, what are you going?
Big Ten wins?
Yep.
Under. I think if they win more than 4, it'll be 5. I don't see it. I don't see it. Unless the Big Ten is really bad.
Yeah, I will say there is some hope that the bottom half is soft, but then you look at the scoreboard. One of those teams I thought was soft, Maryland's up on Michigan. I don't think they held on in that game, but they was at least it was it was an interesting game for a minute. So yeah, there are teams that Michigan won, but still, I mean that was
it's football. But yes, they won.
Yeah.
Look, here's the thing. Rutgers will look at teams like Oregon, Penn State, maybe Minnesota, and say, all right, these are games we could win.
Yeah.
And those teams are looking at Rutgers,
right.
Licking their chops, thinking we have to win this game. If there are any games in the Big Ten we win, it's this one. So I don't know. I think this isn't very indicative, but I would say that this place was 75% full and about 90% were wearing blue. Rutgers, they never had a reason to get loud, but the Rutgers faithful never really did get loud. And I guess I wonder how that's going to look like at the RAC. I can't imagine these games versus Penn and Delaware State at like 8:00 on a Saturday night are going to be well attended. But I do wonder, like, when we get to February and Rutgers is 2-13 in the Big Ten, are people going to start showing up? And that's another factor to consider here, because ultimately money is what talks. And if you don't have people donating money, then money lost in revenue, ticket sales, parking, etc., that also talks. So that'll be something interesting to watch, because what's happening on the court certainly will not be very interesting to watch.
Indeed. Any final questions? I don't know what else I've got to say. I'm tapped.
I don't have much to say. We'll save it for the podcast Monday, but
I've been here since 10 a.m. Watched the hockey game before this started. Forgot all about that.
And now you're going to go home and write.
We'll see. Got pickleball in the morning.
Oh, no. All right. Well, you'll probably put in a better performance. We should do a positivity pickleball podcast. I think people would love that. All right. One question popped in. We got to answer it because it popped in. What are the odds of a Delaware State loss? I am not a bookmaker. I would probably give Rutgers 14.5-point favorite.
I don't know anything about Delaware State, so I don't know.
They're awful.
Okay, then no.
They're one of the 15 or 20 worst teams in the country.
Okay.
They're worse than Central Connecticut State.
We didn't talk about the big helmet home that Steve Peichel wants.
Yes, Steve Peichel, in what I assume is a diversion tactic, just throws out a wild scenario where he says he wants to play this game home and home. He wants to do kind of like what Washington State and Oregon State did when the Pac-12 fell apart. They played 2 football games home and home to fill out their schedule. And Shaheen Holloway said, if you want to play a home and home, just join the Big East again. Yeah. Which I think Steve Peichel would love, by the way. I think Steve Peichel would sign up for that.
Invitation accepted.
Yes. Get me in the Big East and out of the football league.
But it was totally. It was I said we were talking about this earlier, but I said it was like Trump saying he wants to buy Greenland. It was like a diversionary. Look over here. Don't look at what's going on over here. But yeah, no, it was. But it was funny. Shaheen looked at us like, what? You guys, what are you asking about? Like, we didn't bring it up. We didn't bring it up.
You guys are unbelievable.
You guys are unbelievable. It wasn't our idea.
And one more, Kiri says, if we lose to Penn at home, do the fans start booing at the RAC? If Rutgers is losing in the second half against Penn, the place is going to be a boo-bird fest.
It's going to be a lot of boos. Yep.
I will be interested because Farrah McCaffrey is a good coach. He's beaten Rutgers before, albeit with a better team. Silly guy. He'll have some people in the crowd, but we're really getting off the rails here. Unless there's any last-second question within the next 15 seconds, Steve Politti and I are signing off from the Prudential Center.
I'm going home before it starts snowing.
That's also a good idea. Stay safe, all. Thank you for tuning in. Subscribe. We're only 17 away from 1,000, and if we get that, that would be a great early Christmas present or Hanukkah or whatever you guys celebrate. Hanukkah's in December, right? I think
it's right
now.
Well, perfect. Happening currently.
Okay, and I think it's 13 gifts. Everyone subscribe. Find a new subscriber every day. We would appreciate that. Like the video. And please, if you tune out for Rutgers basketball, stay tuned into the Rutgers rants. We'll catch you up on what happened. Save 2 hours watching the game. Just watch our lives. We'll tell you what happened.
It's going to be a long winter. Thanks for watching.
See you all.